1 week until my very first regionals, and it's a big deal to me. I'm going to be seeing all my friends from Winnipeg there, as it's held in Winnipeg. I'm going to be traveling with some of my new friends from Regina to Winnipeg, 6-hour drive, hopefully the day before, to register at 9 a.m. and compete in my first regionals. I will be taking Pendulum and Dimion to the 2 regionals, but I don't know what variant. I've been toying with some different ideas. So over the next couple of days, I'm going to experiment with different builds of the deck and include just some cards I'm thinking of just throwing in, trying out, see what happens. One of them being a card called Dark Magic Veil. This card will special summon a dark spellcaster monster from your hand at the cost of 1,000 life points. That's nothing. And you can put down Jackal King immediately. It can't be ashed like your servant can, and it sets up a protection for your servant. So if you have this, you protect your servant with the Jackal King you summon off of this, and then you can use your servant to special summon out Big Boy and Dimion. I don't know, just an idea. I'm gonna try a more pure variant, no magicians. There's no magicians in the current one I'm using. Just different things, man. Seeing if I can find the secret sauce. I'm just hoping to not get absolutely embarrassed. If I go do 50-50, I'll be happy, but I really want to get an invite. So I'd like to do top 16 at least. So yeah, Road to Regionals starts now. It's so sealed with cardboard. I didn't anticipate it was gonna be this difficult to open. But I also don't want to go just tearing through it. Here we go. Oh, holy shit. Dark Magician is like a card that kind of started it all for me, and I've always wanted a card that looks like this. This is the original like Series 0 card, and it just looks amazing. I'm gonna take it out, even though I probably shouldn't. Man. Thank you so much, Dylan. I'm gonna put that right in the collection. All right, Road to Regionals. Next experiment. I took the Dark Magic Veil build to a friendly tournament with just my friends and a few other people I haven't met. But it didn't perform super well, but it didn't do really bad either. Anytime I got the special summon with it, it meant I was going full combo and there was nothing they could do to stop me. So for example, I have the Servant set. I activate the Dark Magic Veil, special summon the Jackal King to the field. It puts counters on my Servant. Then the exact same process I went through to put counters on my Servant before puts counters on the Jackal King. Then I can summon out either another Jackal King or the Mighty Master of Magic. So immediately I'm protected. And it worked out well, just like I thought it would, but I don't know, I didn't feel its power ceiling was that high. And realistically, I don't think I need this ridiculous high power ceiling. Like, 7 negates, best deck ever, blah, 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 blah. That's not realistic. Realistically, you need 3 to 4. You should be able to stop your opponent's turn dead. So I'm working on a more magician lenient build. Like, I'm just leaning completely into magicians and trying a new little trick I've come up with. Well, probably haven't come up with, but discovered, and I'm gonna see how that works. Okay, so a quick overview of the new tactic I'm trying to use. It involves mostly Purple Poison Magician, Star Pendulum Graph and Time Pendulum Graph with an assist from Electromite and Vortex Dragon. Now, these two aren't really needed for it, but I'll explain how they interact. Hopefully there's less glare right there. Okay, so let's say I've got this up, and this up. Again, we don't need this, we don't need this, and we don't need this. These are just bonus. I might just switch this out for another copy of Secret Village, but this is searchable and Secret Village isn't. And so is the Time Pendulum Graph. Both of them could be searched off Duelist Alliance. Now, Purple Poison's destruction effect, when this card leaves the field, it can destroy a face-up card. Time Pendulum Graph. Your opponent cannot target spellcaster-type monsters with trap cards or effects. And once per turn, you can target one magician monster, either in the pendulum scale or on the field, destroy it, and destroy one card your opponent controls. If this card does not destroy two cards with this effect, you can send one card to the graveyard. Now that wording is very important. So let's say it's my opponent's turn. I activate Time Pendulum Graph, and he has set one or summoned two or like whatever it is that he's done, and one of them is immune to destruction. Now, because generally speaking I use Pendulum Call on my turn, my scales would be protected. I activate Time Pendulum Graph, I target the Purple Poison Magician. It won't be destroyed, but my opponent's card will. Then the other one is just sent to the graveyard. So if it's immune to destruction or immune to targeting, it doesn't matter because that doesn't say target or destroy. It just sends to graveyard. That's a very good effect. So that's the trick I've been using now. And how Star Pendulum Graph works into this is if this card is destroyed, Star Pendulum Graph's effect will activate, even if it's destroyed because of Time Pendulum Graph, and I would get to add another one back to my hand. I would also get to draw a card off Electromite's effect. And again, I would destroy one with the Pendulum Graph and one with the Purple Poison. Now, how Vortex works into it is, again, I would scale this one, something happens, I negate it with Vortex, I shuffle this Purple Poison back in. Then on my turn, Time Pendulum Graph, destroy my Purple Poison, destroy two cards my opponent controls, Time Pendulum Graph activates, I take the Purple Poison back and I draw one card off Electromite's effect. So that is the loop it creates. You don't necessarily need this, or this, or this, but just this one card is two disruptions and immunity to being targeted by trap cards or effects. And considering my metagame is focused primarily around trap cards locally, and since the regionals is held in Winnipeg, which is also very control heavy, trap card heavy, I think this is going to pay big dividends. Day 4, cleaned up at tournament with it. It's been changed since the last time, the Time Pendulum Graph build. There's an addition. Now, some of you may be thinking, this is old news, this card's old news. Well, it's new to me because I've only been playing since Link's come out. So when Pendulum Magicians were at their height with Astrograph and all these things, I've never got to play with those. So I don't even know what they do, really. I have them, just never bothered to read them because they're banned. So this is new sauce to me. So this Time Pendulum Graph ended up playing huge with one addition. And I'm going to explain how the new interaction works. You guys don't need to see the whole combo now. You guys have already, you know how Pendulum Magicians work. So here it is. This is the final I will be taking to regionals. At least the key parts. I might change some ratios, but this is the one I'm going to be taking to regionals. Okay, so this is a more typical ending board. Now, a lot of the times I end up with Secret Village or Star Pendulum Graph as well, but unfortunately I banished them both off of my desires. So this is the major change. The reason that he's in play is because even if I don't use Pendulum Call, he can protect a spellcaster from being destroyed by sending a dark spellcaster from my deck to the graveyard. So that could be the Endymion or the Jackal King, or whatever I want to send from the deck to the grave to protect a spellcaster card in my skills. So that is a guaranteed 2 removals every turn when these 2 guys are around. That's 1 destruction and 1 straight up removal. Decode Talker to move my arrows over here. This is going to be much easier in the new Master Rule, but he is also a protection. If I wanted to, I could tribute him to protect something that's targeted. Borreload Savage Dragon, you all know what this does. Endymion, another negate. Jackal King, a negate. Borreload Savage doesn't have his attack bonus because I used it as the target for Mighty Master's Destruction. So some other little changes is Black Fang Magician. So let's say I use Time Star and I have sent a Jackal King to the graveyard. Now on my turn, I use Time Starred on my opponent's turn to protect either the target for Time Pendulum Graph, or if they try and beat over one of my monsters, whatever it is I decide to do, and prevent it from being destroyed. And I have Black Fang, either in my hand or in my graveyard or extra deck. Either way, I can just discard. Let's say it is in the extra deck. I just detach and add it back to my hand. I put it here. I activate the Time Pendulum Graph. I pop this one. I destroy one of my opponent's cards, and his effect will allow me to special summon another Jackal King or another Mighty Master of Magic from either the graveyard or face up from the extra deck. So another negation. And you can even do that on your opponent's turn to put another negate on board. So that's what I'm going in with, and I'm consistently setting up 4 to 5 negates. And it's not this 9 negate combo, but I think it's strong enough to win. This effect can be used, I think, as many times as I wish. No, once per turn I can detach. No, that's the detach. Oh, once per turn, yeah. So again, this is a protection effect. This is a protection effect, negate, 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 negate. Of course, this would be on board from a Dragon Fang or Black Fang, but yeah, that's the build. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna see where I can go, because this cleaned up. I only dropped, I think, 1 match, not even a full round. I just dropped 1 match at the tournament.
That's my sauce. My not so revolutionary sauce. Now, why I'm doing that as opposed to like the long Guard Dragon 9 negates combo is this can be disrupted twice in a turn and I could still successfully go through. It's very unlikely that if the Guard Dragon combo build, the main super fancy build that I use, gets disrupted, that you're gonna go through and put on anything significant. Also, the side deck is very important. I'm bringing Nibiru's, Lava Golems, Impermanence, system down, Devastating, 2 Orcus, and Sky Striker decks. So we're gonna see how it goes. Regionals is in a few days. We've got some more time to practice. No more tournaments though. So yeah, I'm happy with the decision. I'm not saying I'm gonna body bag everybody. I would like to body bag everybody, but it's my first one, so I doubt I'm gonna perform super well. But hopefully nobody knows how to deal with the Time Pendulum Graph, which, in my experience using it in the last tournament, locals I was in, is the case. They don't know what to do with it because it's, they have a monster, they use Babel, pop them both. They set the crescendo, pop it. It's just, man. If Double Iris comes off the ban list, I'm going to be stoked because it just solidifies my strategy a bit more. So yeah, I'm going to let you know how regionals goes.